Guru Bob Walker here with Reflex Flow Training, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the practicality of using hand impact enhancement tools and weapons for self-defense. You know, for that last-ditch effort when you have to defend yourself. Obviously, you don't want to use a weapon unless it's absolutely necessary, but you don't want to have to hurt anybody if you can avoid it. If you can avoid the situation, if you can escalate a situation, if you can escape a situation, that's always the best self-defense. But I'm going to talk about it in the terms of what is physically the most practical and what is more practical as far as the law is important, because there are consequences. Like this, I love knives. I've been doing knife self-defense and knife arts for several decades, and a blade is very, very effective at stopping someone, but there are consequences. It's very hard to justify using a knife on someone. That's just a fact. Even if you better know that you had no other choice, and you are going to have a lot of scrutiny from the law. So this is not a great self-defense tool from the legal standpoint. It's effective, but there will be consequences. Okay, next on the list. Love this. Practice this all the time. It's great exercise. I use this little thing as a holder, as a stand, but this is a Kobo pocket stick from Budo Brothers. Awesome. Probably even better than a knife in the fact that it isn't a blade. I don't know what you would call it. You could say it was a massage stick or whatever. I don't know that the law enforcement would buy that, but it isn't a blade. You're not going to cut somebody. You can kill a person very easily with it. It's brass, but it's highly, highly effective. I take this over a knife in a lot of situations. One hit of the hand, you're going to crush the bone. You can knock somebody out with very little effort. Hit on the jaw, that jaw is broken. This is a very effective self-defense tool. Next on the line, I would say the Budo Brothers Kobo Krusher. Really fantastic little pocket stick made out of solid brass, very heavy. Any side you hit, bow, right? Bow, bow, bow. Now, any of these, you need to have some pugilistic skills. But if you want to talk about both legally and still effective, but you do need skills to go along with it, but really a great enhancer, this brass pen, this little brass pen here, it's usually used for people. They advertise it as something that's good for people with Parkinson's or people, because it's a little bit heavier and it keeps your hands steadier, having that little bit of extra weight. But it also makes it a great self-defense tool. I like something that has something like this, like a solid back, so it doesn't push here, but has the bolt lock action, so my thumb can go here. This is a practical tool. It's obvious. You're carrying it just as a pen. It happened to be what you had on you. You can rip, slash, 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 hit. This is a very, very effective technique. Good for something like the Medusa system, or the Piper system, right? This is a great tool. This is probably the best of both worlds. You can cause a lot of damage with it, and you're not going to be looked at twice for carrying it. And it's explainable if you did have to use this. You used it because this is what you had on you as a writing implement. So this is a great little tool here. Very, very practical. You're not going to be able to slash with it. You have to use it as a stabbing, but even up close, and if you're using even a small knife, you're better off using stabbing techniques anyway. You're going to have more stopping power. The thing about knives is you can cut somebody and they can keep on coming. And the same is true with stabbing, but stabs do stop a person easier. So what I suggest is you want to hold it somewhere, block their vision, come in with your stab, 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 stab. Grab onto the person, stab, stab, stab. Latch onto his arm, stab, stab, stab. Like that. They grab your hand here, push it aside, stab, stab, stab. This is a very, very effective weapon. Wow. Okay, so this would be my number one tool if you're talking about both effective and legality. Obviously, if I had a choice and my life's on the line, you know, it's better to have something like this in your hand. It's going to be more devastating right off the bat with less effort, but it's harder. We're going to be much harder to explain. This is a practical tool that anybody can carry every day in an office. You know, always keep it somewhere that you can grab. Practice retrieving it. That's very, very important. Okay, have a great day and be safe out there. And remember, you always want to show respect to everybody, be friendly, and avoid situations whenever you can. Thank you.